The clean energy industry in North Carolina sounds the alarm on proposed legislation's potential consequences. Charlotte, as Republicans push to enact what President Donald Trump calls the Big Beautiful Bill before their self-imposed deadline of July 4th, North Carolina's clean energy sector is raising serious concerns about specific elements in the bill that could slow down job expansion in the state and might lead to higher energy prices. The primary aim of this legislation is to extend the tax reductions initiated in 2017 during Trump's first term. However, it also proposes significant reductions to the clean energy incentives offered by the 2022 Inflation Reduction Act, which was aimed at promoting renewable energy generation and supporting domestic production in the electric vehicle, battery, and solar energy sectors. Bill Taylor, who owns DCE Solar in Cornelius, shared that his company has experienced consistent growth each year for the past 16 years, mostly due to the 2022 tax incentives and a burgeoning demand for energy. He explained, "With more devices and an effort to boost local manufacturing, we're all competing for electricity. Solar power is among the quickest solutions available." However, the Senate's version of the Big Beautiful Bill ends tax incentives for solar and wind energy projects by 2028, unless such projects start construction within a year after the bill's enactment or are completed before the end of 2028. Additionally, residential solar tax credits will conclude in December 2025, along with the electric vehicle purchase incentives by September 2025. Taylor predicts his business will face an immediate surge as companies rush to complete their projects quickly. However, he warns of a sharp decline as it becomes increasingly challenging to meet the 2028 deadlines. Taylor describes navigating this uncertainty as being on the solar coaster. He mentioned it can take a considerable amount of time to get the process moving smoothly. It feels like we're losing all our gained momentum and have to start from scratch. Zach Amite, the Southeast advocate for E2, Focus on Climate International, a nonpartisan organization tracking clean energy jobs, pointed out that many businesses feel uneasy about these changes. Projects are not only dependent on permits and utility actions, but also navigating the interconnection process, making it more complicated to secure funding for new projects. And Amite conveyed that these conditions could inflate project costs significantly. He predicts some utility clients might cancel their projects, leading to a shortfall in power on the grid, or alternatively, the increased expenses might have to be transferred to consumers. It's a risk we might be bringing upon ourselves, potentially hurting not just the clean energy sector, but the entire U.S. economy, since energy fuels all our economic activities, Amite added. On the other side of the debate, Republican backers of the bill, including Representative Tim Moore, RNC, argue that the Big Beautiful Bill is essential to counteract what they see as massive policy missteps and overspending, with the proposed cuts being crucial for fiscal discipline. Though Moore acknowledges the need for more diverse energy resources, he places his confidence in fossil fuels, including natural gas and U.S. source oil, as the path forward to becoming an energy exporter and reducing gas prices. Critics, however, argue that renewable energy subsidies disrupt the market by encouraging demand for non-continuous resources. Amite counters this concern by pointing to the rapid growth of utility battery storage, which is balancing out the issue of intermittency. He argues that nuclear and natural gas projects simply can't address short-term energy demands quickly enough. Taylor dismisses the critique of his industry relying on subsidies by stating all forms of energy receive subsidies. Meanwhile, Amite highlights the challenges of achieving a truly free and fair energy market. Changing regulations every few years makes it exceedingly difficult for businesses to succeed and prosper, he stated. Video, does solar energy pose a threat to North Carolina farms, or can the two coexist productively? Zek by the media team at Hadva CVO. Cox Media Group.